Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of Extra Time TV. This is Sooklal, joined by my man from Scotland today, James Baird. How are you?
I am very good, Andre. Very good. Really looking forward to our football conversations as always. So, especially with the interesting topics tonight.
Yes. I hope all of you all are enjoying the holidays and Christmas, however you choose to celebrate. Enjoy, and I hope it's heading into the new year in a positive way. But heading into the topics, the football does not stop, folks. And we're going to head to Serie A in Italy, where the race is different this year. Usually when you speak about Serie A, it's always like, oh well, Juventus is going to win. But that is not the case this year, James. It seems as if the Zlatan effect has taken place on the red side of Milan. And also, Inter Milan. It seems like it's a resurrection of the Milans. AC Milan are now 34 points. Inter Milan are now 33 points. With Juventus in 6th place with 24 points, which is insane. What do you think about that, James?
Well, it's real surprising. I mean, I've always been an AC Milan fan. I mean, I'll say I always looked out for them. I wouldn't say a fan. That's a bit unfair. But since the days of Paolo Maldini and all those guys, but I am very happy that they're up there. I mean, I have been sceptical because I think it was basically one man pulling them through a lot of games. I mean, Zlatan is defying the laws of gravity in a sense, aging wise, and he's scored a whole barrel of goals. I think he scored 9 or 10. He's pushing them through, and they're holding on because, I mean, we thought Juventus with the stars they have would really be pushing them, and they fell by the wayside. So it now seems to be a two-horse race between Inter Milan and AC Milan, with obviously AC Milan just a point ahead at the moment. So it's going to be a very, very interesting showcase of football in Italy.
Yeah, one definitely can't argue. I mean, Zlatan is like the meme master of the internet right now. Everything is Zlatan, whatever he says. But we cannot deny the impact that this guy has had since returning to AC Milan. Like last year, when I play FIFA, as you know, and those of you who are paying attention to our league, I'll post our current league standings up. The league continues, so you guys can check that out. But back to our thing here. Zlatan has come to AC Milan and has reignited this team. And very rarely now you can say one guy really can galvanize a team. And he is, putting his money where his mouth is. He is definitely influencing the squad in a way where there's confidence. There's a winning mentality. Even when you think they're going to lose, they win. That game recently, I think they won in the 90th minute. It was crazy. And even when he's not there, a lot of people were saying, well, okay, from the moment Zlatan gets injured, the team's going to fall apart, which I think is a valid thing to say. But so far, AC Milan has really shown that they can perform with Zlatan. So do you think, I'm going to ask a straight up question here, do you think that AC Milan could be the team to dethrone Juventus this year?
I mean, the way it's looking, obviously, yes. But as you say, you've made a valid point about injuries and things. But I think his influence in general, like I think the game they played, the one they won 3-2 recently, he didn't play, if I'm not mistaken. So he's obviously got an influence from off the field as well. And let's be honest, every team he's been at, he has such a huge personality. I mean, as you said, some of the memes he talks about, he talks about how he's king and he's this and he's that. And it's funny, but I think it's more than that. I think it's a way of him inspiring others. So, for example, when he says one of these ridiculous statements, whatever he thinks is ridiculous, it's a way of him showing his teammates, I'm here for you guys, whether it is, as you say, on or off the field. And the goals he's scored, I mean, has been nothing short of magnificent. I mean, as I say, at 39 to be performing at that age, I mean, yes, you could say Cristiano Ronaldo's a couple of years younger, but you're basically, we're talking about Zlatan in the same sentence, let's be honest, as Messi, as Ronaldo, as Mbappe, as Neymar. And really, I mean, I don't want to bring countries into it, but he's from Sweden, and Sweden's never really had players of that caliber, really. I mean, you could go back and say, there was some in the early 90s and things, but he is just, as I say, he's defying the laws of physics. And it's wonderful to see. It's great for AC Milan because, to me, in the 90s, they were such a great force. And they don't have the players, let's be honest, they don't have the squad like they did in the past, but he's doing so much for the team. I mean, I think the other thing that you've got to remember too is they have an excellent goalkeeper at the back as well. I mean, Donnarumma is doing a great job at the back. He has done for a few seasons now. I mean, he's young. That's the thing we always forget about this. but he's played for Italy, I think, 25 or 22 times maybe. So, I mean, at the front and at the back, they seem to be solid. So it's going to be a very interesting season, and I think they will surprise a lot of people, and they will be there at the end, whether it's as champions or whether it's there or thereabouts, we will see.
So you don't think that squad depth will be an issue for them? Like that's one of my concerns, because I've seen some crazy Serie A's before where teams were ahead. There was a time Inter Milan were ahead at one point in time, and then somehow Juventus came back. Do you think Juventus have any chance of turning this thing around? I mean, I know that leagues can change. We've seen in the EPL, which we'll talk about in a little while, how leagues can go up and down. But the dominance of Juventus has been such. It's been so crazy to the point where people are worried that people are not going to look at Serie A, even though Ronaldo is there. Do you think that AC Milan can hold off and just get it done? No injuries? You think injuries would affect the squad?
I think they have a good young squad too. I mean, you've got guys like, as I say, Maldini's son, I think it is there as well, the striker. There's a lot of good young players. I mean, yes, you could argue that they're probably not up to the superstar bracket, Obviously, you would say that Hakan and obviously Zlatan are probably the two big stars that AC Milan have. But then again, you've got to remember it's coming into transfer window time. Obviously, January. So will they strengthen? Do they have the money to strengthen? We will see. So it all depends. I mean, you're virtually halfway through, let's say, the season. They're top by a point. I mean, if you look at the two squads, you could probably say Inter have a little bit more depth. I mean, let's be honest. Juventus have an unbelievable amount of depth. But AC Milan are still ahead. So I think it will come down to the winter signings in this break, if they can, or squad management, and that's something that's very important these days. We've seen it all through all the leagues in the Premiership, in Scotland, Italy, and Spain, how the coaches can manage their squad, because let's be honest, AC Milan I think they have Europa League. You've got Juventus having Champions League, I think, still. Inter Milan will drop into Europa League, if I'm not mistaken. Or did they drop out? I can't remember that one.
Inter Milan's out.
So they're out. Okay, so I mean, Inter Milan probably have a little bit of a one-up there in terms of the league, because they're not going to be playing, obviously, European football, whereas AC Milan and Juventus will. So these things will all play into it, and again, it all comes down to how astute the manager is in the transfer window, and also how he can manage his squad. I think he'll be up to the task.
Yep, Stefano Pioli, who also coached Inter as well, and he was at Fiorentina as well, has done an amazing job. And let's not forget, AC Milan were not financially doing well. Inter Milan is on the rise financially. They're doing well. You guys can look up online and see how they're doing. I can tell you for a fact that they are doing well, and financially. And they need this Champions League. And just getting into the Champions League plus the Scudetto would be the ultimate injection, because they did do some very bad financial business a couple of years ago. They took out a massive loan and bought players like Bonucci and many others with the gamble that they would qualify for the Champions League, and it didn't. And it sort of sent them into disarray. And I have to say, this was a very shrewd move by AC Milan and Maldini as well. Maldini Sr., the legend himself. He does a lot of things behind the scenes as well. And I have to admit that I was even telling some friends that I wanted Inter Milan. I was going to that point earlier and I drifted. I actually think Zlatan would have been a good 6-month signing for Inter Milan. Turns out AC Milan did it. And they laughed at me when I said it. And I told them exactly why, and AC Milan did it, and we saw how that turned out. So, sticking with Zlatan, and those of you, before we move to that topic, you can let me know what you think in the comment section on our poll, which I'll put in the link in the description below. Do you think AC Milan are going to win the Scudetto this year? So you can do that. Just a reminder, everyone, for more episodes with Shaka Hits Luck, be sure to head over to our YouTube channel. Also, don't forget to subscribe for more updates, interviews, and content.